What if I told you there's a place in the desert so secret, so dangerous, that anyone who wanders in either disappears or dies horribly, and the few who survive, they carry nightmares they can never forget? Welcome to Sector 16, a forgotten piece of military land that was never meant to be found. It all begins in a pitch-dark room. A woman, chained and screaming, goes through the agony of childbirth. The child that's born isn't normal, it's twisted, deformed, and the moment the baby takes its first breath, a mysterious man enters the room and kills the mother without hesitation. That moment, horrifying as it is just the end of a much older story. 2 years earlier, a family accidentally took a wrong turn while driving through the desert and stumbled into the restricted territory of Sector 16. By the next morning, half the family was dead, the rest vanished. In response, the U.S. Army launched an investigation, but it was buried under layers of secrecy. Whatever they found there, they kept to themselves. Now, in the present day, a new military operation is underway. The objective is to install a network of surveillance equipment around Sector 16. Technician Han is stationed near an abandoned mine to test the gear. He places mannequins to simulate human movement, while Dr. Wilson monitors everything remotely using heat sensors. But something strange happens. Wilson sees an anomaly on the screen, some kind of heat signal that doesn't make sense. Before he can look into it, the monitor goes black. Han goes to check the power and finds the cables burnt to a crisp. He assumes it was rats. Meanwhile, Dr. Foster is setting up gear on a nearby hill and tries to contact the others, but no one replies. That's because Han is already dead, his body torn open in the mine. Foster soon finds himself face to face with a hideous mutant eating a snake. The creature seems oddly amused by Foster's backpack zipper. Then it says 2 words, "Run away." Foster doesn't get the chance. He's killed from behind before he can escape. Colonel Reading hears the distant screaming and heads out calling for Foster, but a mutant sneaks up and stabs him, throwing his body down a hill. Elsewhere, a group of young soldiers is deep into a live training simulation. There's chaos, fake gunfire, and staged explosions. One soldier retrieves a helmet, another runs after a target, and then there's a civilian woman who seems to be crying for her child until she opens her coat to reveal grenades strapped to her chest. With a loud kaboom, the simulation ends. It was all just practice. But their next mission is real. They're being deployed to Sector 16 to deliver equipment to the science team that's stationed there. Their orders are simple. Don't talk to anyone, don't leave the area, and definitely don't explore. When they arrive at Sector 16, the place feels eerie. The site was once used for nuclear testing, and though they're told it's safe, the soldiers aren't convinced. The camp looks abandoned. Radios are silent. No one answers. Someone, or something, is watching from the hills. Crank opens a door to the mine and is startled by a flock of bats. They find a satellite phone, but it's smashed. Then, a distress call crackles through the truck radio. A man begs for help, saying he's up on the hill. But the message cuts off. Sergeant Jeffrey decides they're going on a rescue mission. Napoleon objects, saying they should contact the base first. As punishment, Jeffrey makes him stand guard on one leg next to the bathroom. He also keeps Amber behind, warning her to keep trying the radio. Just as she picks up a signal and hears someone say, "Hello," it goes silent. Out on the hill, Mickey falls into a deep, hidden hole. The others pull him out just in time, but he's hurt. Jeffrey sends him back to camp. As Napoleon uses the toilet, a disgusting hand reaches out from inside to grab his leg. Panicked, he runs out screaming. Amber investigates and sees an entire arm reaching up from the waist. It's Wilson, barely alive, shaking and dying. His final words, "They're here." Napoleon realizes someone deliberately wounded Wilson to let him die slowly from infection. Then they discover the truck is on fire. Someone's stolen Amber's rifle. She sets out to warn the others. As she walks, she's tackled by a mutant. The thing overpowers her, but she fights back with a rock. Suddenly, a bullet hits the creature. It's Mickey, hiding in the rocks. The mutant escapes down a mine hole, but another hand reaches from a separate pit, grabs Mickey, and drags him down. Amber and Napoleon try to save him, but the rocks crush his leg until he vanishes into the darkness. Meanwhile, Missy separates from her group to read a message from her son. Her teammate taps her shoulder. It's time to move. They find Foster's body, his wallet shoved into his head wound. They try the radio and hear Colonel Reading speak, but something's off. The voice doesn't sound like him. Suddenly, a mutant attacks Spitter. He fires, but misses, and ends up accidentally shooting Jeffrey instead. The sergeant dies. Amber and Napoleon arrive just in time to break the news about Mickey. The group wraps Jeffrey's body in a blanket and prepares to climb down the cliffs. Spitter goes first, but the rope snaps. He falls to his death. Crank blames Napoleon for tying a bad knot, but Delma realizes the rope was cut, and all the backup ropes are gone. Desperate to escape, they look for another path down. That's when they find Redding, barely alive but smiling. He reveals the truth. Mutated humans, once part of illegal military experiments, now live in the mines. They're aggressive, feral, and deadly. They kill men and capture women for breeding. Before the group can ask more, Reading takes his own life. Missy shows Amber a video of her son, but the moment is cut short. A mutant ambushes them. The team kills it quickly. Later, Missy steps behind a rock to relieve herself, unaware that a mutant camouflaged in stone grabs her and drags her into the mine. The team chases after her. Two Stump stays behind, promising to return with help. Inside the tunnels, the rest of the team follows the trail and finds Missy's phone. They discover a hidden tunnel and slide down to a deeper level. Amber panics when a spider crawls on her, but they press forward. Outside, Stump hears noises. Rocks fall around him. He tries to climb down without gear and discovers a tunnel, but a mutant slices his hand, sending him to his death. Inside the mines, Amber falls into a pit, pulling Napoleon down with her. Water rushes in, separating the group. Crank and Delma press forward and come across another hole. Crank barely jumps across. Delma follows and pulls him up. They find a beam to climb down. Missy, meanwhile, is in a horrifying room. The mutant calls her Mama Pretty and tries to assault her. She bites off his tongue and kicks him, but just as she escapes, a larger mutant enters. The first creature calls him Papa. The bigger one wants a baby, and he means to force it. Missy screams. Amber and Napoleon find Stump's severed hand and are attacked by another mutant. Napoleon kills it by smashing its head with a rock. A blind mutant appears next and tracks their scent. As they retreat, they fall through a hidden hatch, only to be saved by a friendly mutant who closes the door behind them. Crank and Delma arrive shortly after and accidentally alert the blind creature. It shoots Delma, but Crank fires back and kills it. They're out of bullets. Napoleon opens the hatch and pulls them in. The friendly mutant leads them to a chamber filled with body parts, hooks, and meat grinders. They find Mickey's body. Delma dies in Crank's arms. The mutant shows them the exit, but the door is jammed. Amber insists on saving Missy. Crank finds dynamite and rips off wooden planks to get it, but he accidentally triggers a wire. The entire area explodes, killing him. Amber and Napoleon survive the blast and follow Missy's screams to the military meeting room. A mutant disguised as a dummy attacks. Amber and Napoleon team up to kill it, stabbing and slashing until it dies. They finally find Missy. Amber distracts the big mutant using a video from Missy's phone. As he investigates, they untie her, but he returns violently, smashing Napoleon and grabbing Missy. Amber shoots him in the head, but the bullet barely slows him. He slams Napoleon again and chokes Amber. Napoleon stabs him while Amber digs into the open brain wound with her fingers. The mutant drops, but it's not over. He grabs Missy's ankle one last time. Napoleon puts a gun in his mouth and finishes the job. Missy smashes his groin with a hammer for good measure. Finally, the trio escapes. But the truth of Sector 16 is never revealed to the world. The missing soldiers are quietly marked as AWOL. And far away, someone watches Sector 16 on a radar, waiting.